how do you see kind of those three worker types kind of being divided up, with kind of the main buckets of contractors and where they sit in terms of their engagement?
You're probably going to find that about 75% of contractors in the US are W-2s. So the IRS and the Department of Labor are very much of the opinion that everyone is a W-2 by default, unless you can prove that you're not a W-2. And then you've probably got about 5 to 10% Corp-to Corps, and then 15 to 20% 1099s as well. So like we said, the overwhelming majority you're going to find will be W-2. And the reason for that and the driver for that is obviously in the UK, most people listening, if they're based in the UK, will be familiar with IR35, the dreaded word that everybody hates. And if you're not a fan of IR35 in the US, you're really not going to like the equivalent of IR35 because it's about 10 years ahead of where it is. So there's a lot more case law in practice and that has been proven in the past. So it's a lot more embedded. It's a lot more mature than the IR35 legislation. And essentially it's a lot harder and stricter to navigate. And then also, as well as it being 10 years ahead in the US, because it's so big, the way that the country is governed is you've got the federal government, you've got state governments, and then local governments as well in some of your bigger markets. So there's federal legislation around IR35 in the US. There's state legislation around it as well. And so at a minimum, if you are classifying a worker, you have to do a federal assessment and a local state assessment as well. And there are 50 states. So there's basically 50 different iterations at least to IR35 in the US.
Nice and simple.
Yeah,